is how we look into it, how it is helpful for providing inputs or insights for any business related stuff. Okay, so just going forward, like mm, how it is viewed, I just would like to say, like when I say it is a data science, now you all know what a data science is. So, like giving a small example, like how it began or how we as an industry started looking into the data. I'll just give a small example. Like we all know the census which used to take place long back. People used to come to each houses and check how many number of people are there at your house, how many kids are there, how many elders who are there, the birth has happened, all these things. So every year people used to collect data. Okay, so we already know each and each year there will be increase in the population. But now with the data what we have, we can predict by next year what can be the population in India or what can be the population present in Pune. We can try to predict based on how it goes. So that is where data science comes into existence. So as an industry, what we can do is we can take those data in, try to look into a chunk of data, not the entire data. Suppose if I'm considering just Pune, I can just take only one particular area and consider, okay, predict in next year or next 6 months, what will be the population increase? What will be, it's just a percent of increase or it will be more than that. So just a prediction we can do with our data science. I guess you guys should have already known. So when I say a data science, when your data is there, so what I need to do is I need to have a domain expertise on what is there. Like when I mentioned sensors, we need to understand, okay, population is there, birth happens, death happens. So that is how we try to. So we need to have a knowledge on the domain first, plus we need to have a statistical knowledge or mathematical knowledge. So data science is not only for a technical person who is really sound in technicals like uh, the programming concepts or anything. But along with the programming concept, what a computer science or electronic science student has, if a person from other technical backgrounds, from CS, I mean civil or mechanic, if they're good in their statistical or mathematicals, they themselves as well implement a data concepts onto the industry what they will be also working. So mainly I wanted to tell you guys is in industry when you come, data science is not only, you can't say it is only for a programming language background. Yes, programming do require so that it will make your things easier. But even with the Excel, the Microsoft Excel what we have, we can try to improve or get into the understanding or doing statistical analysis on that. So a person who is interested or enthused about data, they have to know more about the domain what they are working on. Plus, they need to have a strong mathematical or statistical knowledge. That is the main part of a data science person who gets into the industry. Plus programming, like I mentioned, it is added advantage because we have Python, we have R codes, which will make our life easier. But the same thing nowadays we can do the same thing with the Excel files. What we have, we can just have the data. We already have a data in the Excel file. Just look into data. Excel is providing a tool for that called data tools. Just analyze the data with all the Z test, F test, T test, and all which they provide. You know the result, but maybe a programmer can understand how exactly it is done in the programming because we cut down or chunk by chunk we look into the data. But as a tool, it will just provide. So that is what a data or data science comes into existence. So to continue with it, I would just read out this last line what I've just written here. Without data, we are just another person with just an opinion. Because in our day-to-day life also, we can consider, like say for example, if there is a gathering at your house, some family gathering is there. So we can say, okay, I have invited 50 people. So you might say only 50 might come, or you might say now, since it is COVID, you may not even expect 50. You might say only 30. So that is just the opinion, but we really don't know uh, whether 30 comes or 50 or 100 comes up. So it can just be opinion without a data. So if you see the previous days happen nowadays after post COVID, looking at the data, we can say, okay, when a family gathering is there, if if there is a restriction from government for only 50 people or 100 people getting into the gathering, we can say that, okay, the data says only 100 has to come. So you can say, okay, the prediction will be like, okay, we can receive gets up to 80 to 100 or 110. So that is where we keep alive. So it's not just opinion, it is like we have seen that. Okay, so that is where the data comes into existence. So this is what I just speak about in each domain, how we can take care or how the data is being analyzed or how we can do it. Okay, so moving on. I just wanted to mention you post-COVID, especially post-COVID, data points getting into the, I mean, each and every day people uh, going upon the internet for anything. It can be a social media thing, it can be for the e-commerce, it can be a simple Google search what people do. So data generating per day will be per minute, not even day, it will be more. Okay, like you can see here, I just put a slide here just to mention per every minute of a day, how many data is being generated from each and other applications, what people will be used. This is actually an old figure out, but currently if you see, it is totally increased. Okay. And as a survey, which recently last June people have done, we have seen there is actually a rise in internet usage only in India. So we Indians have become the second largest people using internet currently, uh, especially after the post-COVID, because people are trending. It's not only the internet is now not only utilized between the younger generations or what we call between the age group of 18 to 50. It is actually people, elderly people also have started utilizing maybe a video call, a Skype call to be done to their people, surrounding people or their people. So it's actually the age group or the demographic when we see also, it's actually been increased. Okay. So there is a rise in people downloading stuff or uploading stuff in each and every day. So data is being generated every minute. So to add on this, I could say data has become a part of our life. We may not realize it, but yes, each and everything what you enter on your internet, on your Google search, on the YouTubes or the Insta or Facebook or any other thing, that is where people will judge, or that is where the industry judge on a particular person. Okay, for example, say if I say Netflix. Okay, you would have seen Netflix gives you recommendation. Netflix tells you, okay, you have watched the action movies currently, so the next nearest will be shown to you. This is what you may like. Or coming to your Amazon shopping or your Flipkart or any e-commerce website from a FastCry or anything, they understand what you do. Okay, then a best example which I can give you is a person who starts looking for a baby products. Okay, you can just search a baby product in internet, and after 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, after the next minute you start seeing all the baby product ads popping up in your YouTube or in your emails or in your Google search results, the advertising, you start seeing all the baby products. Okay, this is how the domains, or this is how the industry works currently. They are actually making entire use of the people who are using internet every minute to gather their information, where they gather, okay, I have searched two or thrice about a baby product. Okay, then they start giving you all the products related to what you have searched. This is the best product, or this offers going on in this particular application, that application. So that's how the data is being gathered. With or without our knowledge, the internet actually consumes the data what you put on the internet. Okay. Uh, that is one point. The second part from the industry, if you ask me, we do something called sentimental analysis. Okay, sentimental analysis is where there are two types of sentimental. One is research kind. If I have to search about a person, okay, say for example, if I have to search about the students present in the college, what are the interests like, what they do. So nowadays we know each and every person do have a Facebook or Instagram or any social media account. So if I keep searching them, researching on at least 30 students, if I consider the top 30 students in your college or the final year student, what I can do is I can just make, okay, this is my data, chunk of data of 30 students. I'll research on them, what they are interested, what kind of applications they have downloaded. I can create a cluster out of it. Okay. So the top 30 people in the college are looking or focused on this particular thing. So if, like I said, it is a final semester, people are looking for jobs or people are looking for any particular thing, then I can say the top 30 people, their cluster falls under this. So they are looking more on, focus more on a MNC company, which they are looking around. Second set I can do, okay, there can be people, these people are willing to travel more. So that, so just you putting your likes on your social media, we pasting, commenting on anything, I can try to analyze what kind of a person this is, he or she is. That is how the data comes to existence. That's how I characterize or I cluster each and every, or sorry, not I, we cluster each and every people flowing into the data. So sometimes it is, you ask me, sometimes it is really scary to search anything on the internet because there is some or the other guy who knows what you're searching. So that will be the next ad popping up. Many times you would have wondered, I just searched this. How could I start getting calls from any other, the third guy, which I was not expecting? That's because you have placed your data, you've shown your interest on something. The internet has captured that each and every minute. Some of the other people will be scraping the web to understand in this particular domain what people are looking, in this demography what people are looking. So that is where we try to analyze. So that is one kind of research what people do, just looking at your social media profile and putting you in a particular cluster. This will be my potential customers for this particular cluster. This will be potential customer for my traveling group or my job profile group. That is how we differentiate. Second thing is where people try to write blogs, understand things. So there I try to analyze, okay, there are certain keywords. I can give you an example where we have worked recently when COVID happened. People recently, when the second wave come, we were all struggling for getting the oxygens, especially. We had few people who used to help, but we didn't know whom to approach. But every people used to try to put their applications or their wants or wishes to get a oxygen cylinder on either any of their social media. They would have put it in their Facebook or LinkedIn or WhatsApp. So what we had done is we had a client who wanted to, what he used to do is he used to look into the LinkedIn or Facebook. He used to scroll his entire page to understand who is asking for help. Okay, and if a person asks for help, suppose if a person is asking help from Bangalore, saying in Pune I have some relative who wants this, so he can try to connect with this Pune person who is present there and who is ready to help for the oxygen. So what we try to do is, he, instead of doing a manual search each and every 5 minutes, we gave him a simple Python code, automation code, where he can scrape the entire LinkedIn profile on him or whatever, LinkedIn, where it comes these particular keywords, like a keyword like save a life, COVID-19, COVID for India, particular hashtags what we had given that in our automation, and it used to scrape the entire set and put up in an Excel file and tells us this is the person in this area who wants the oxygen. So he, now what our the client has to do was he has to just look into the Excel file, which he has to refresh every now and then. So this was one code he has to just run into his system, and it used to scrape his entire LinkedIn profile where he had to run this, and it is to get in, the output will be put up in an Excel file, and he can just look at the Excel file and help the person who is in need more quicker than how he used to do previously. Oh, can you hear me now? I guess someone said voice is breaking.
You are clear.
Okay. So this is how the industry. I've just given some few example on how we work on. Okay, this is based on the internet, people how we do. But this is not only restricted to only the ongoing things happening, but we can also see that we have different industries in which we do apply all the data science things, concepts. Okay, I've just grouped up few of the industries, top industries where data science is blooming actually currently. So banking and finance, yes, it was there from a long back. Before it used to be manually, people used to do through Excel file. Now it is more like people understand how, whether I can give a loan to this particular person, whether I can not give a loan, or whether I can see this particular person will be a churn to my banking and focus on other banking. So these are few industries which I've put up here. I'll take you through one or two, three industries which is relevant currently. Okay, so that you understand how the data is and how in industry what we look into the data. Okay, since post COVID, we all have gone digital marketing from small scale industry to the existing Amazon or thing. I'll just start talking from the digital marketing. So when I say digital marketing, I already gave you some example. Suppose I have to search for a baby product, I'll just put a baby product name and I'll start looking into it. Okay, so from there, that point, you'll start receiving all your campaigns about any different products, what is there, either from FirstCry or from Amazon or other things, what they have in their e-commerce website. So what happens here is, we try to see the potential client when a person puts his or her interest in a Google search, a simple Google search. He just wants to find, I want to find a, say, car seat for the kid. Okay, so now after one or two searches he does, he'll start getting all the digital marketing things. There is a product in FirstCry, there's a product in Amazon. So what FirstCry Amazon will try to do is he keeps on searching for such potential customers. So each and every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, when the algorithm runs back in, it just searches for such people who have just posted a ad or shown interest themselves in a Google search. So from that moment, the next click what they give, they start receiving all the ads or digital marketing for such thing what they have looked on. Say for example, it is car seat, so they start getting FirstCry has so and so offer in different category, or Amazon has so on. So from that point, you open your Google search, you open your mobile, you browse in your social media apps from Facebook, LinkedIn, or anything. You try to see all these ads because we have seen a potential under you that it is you have become a potential customer for that particular product. So that is where you try to understand it. Okay, this is how it is done in a digital marketing. Of course, digital marketing, it has its own claims where people gather your information. One information is like we already have given our input from phone number and email address to the Google. That's where they capture your detail. But digital marketing will not end only till there. They show you the ad. If you're shown an interest and if you click on that particular ad, you'll obviously see they'll give a form. Please fill in your details. What is the kid's age? What is that age? So based on that, they'll keep you as their potential customer in their database and see that, okay, now he had shopped a car seat for his 1-year-old kid. So next year, of course, he will require a larger car seat, or he requires other products for his kid. So that is how the database is collected from the customer and it is stored. And each and every year, you'll be given an offer for that. Each and every year, since you become a potential customer for them, they'll be giving you offers. They'll be showing, now your child is 4 years old or 5 years old. So this is the product which your child requires. He'll be going for the school now. So currently, this is the stationary items which he requires. So that is how we keep on looking from the digital market, see. Okay, so that is on the digital marketing, how digital marketing works and how we take a data, analyze it, and give the solution for them. Okay, currently the age group is this, it will keep on increasing. So what other products you can add on to that particular potential customer? So coming to, say I can go for banking if I want to speak. banking is one common thing which we all have. So usually in the olden days, we used to go to bank. We used to always prefer a particular bank. Any, if you have seen our parents or their parents, we used to always end up sticking onto one particular bank. But currently, it is not that. We do know people churn out of a bank because the other bank would have provided a better loan. Other bank has a better product for what you guys are looking for, a car loan or a house loan. So what we can do is, one thing what banking does is they predict how many new customers can get in each year, month wise or yearly by the end of the year. That is one way where they grab new customers. Second is, okay, we do have a customer, say 100 customers do have, how to avoid 100 customers from churning out to other banking. So we try to do here, what we try to do is we try to analyze the data. Okay, we see out of 100, 20 people have churned out. Okay, so why did they churn out? Is it because they were exactly new customers? That's why they churned out? Or is it because these particular people were looking, say, only for personal loans? And the time they were offered personal loans were not of a good interest. That's why people have churned out. If that was the case, what banking do is they will change their product. Now they'll make sure their interest rate, everything is likely to the customer what they are providing previously or now. So that's how they assume or they have a hypothesis on what how many people have churned out. They try to analyze. Okay, this can be a hypothesis for this. Okay, so let's test it out. So they'll test out only for those 20 people. Out of 20, if 10 sticks on back to them, then they know this is working. So they try to see the remaining 10 also to be holding on. So this is how in a banking industry it works. Okay. Coming to healthcare, I guess we have data science starting from a very longer per se. Okay. Post COVID, it has actually increased people analyzing, having a digital clock at their monitoring their heartbeat to everything. But yes, healthcare has is a vast topic which we can't talk per se like that, but it is actually. Okay, so I would like to add here on education because the other things like telecommunication, automotive, yes, we do know how it works. But education, especially education, current time from past 1 year after post COVID, people going to online education have increased. Trust me, I never thought I will enroll my kid on an online education platform because I never thought it would fit because they have to sit. But yes, it helps maybe as a working mother or uh, making things to understand because now it's been 2 years they are having online classes. But yes, the online platform or online education has gone high uh, pre-COVID to post-COVID. People are enrolling themselves. Before there was no online education, especially for small kids. We had one or two applications, but people used to not, as I've seen the data, we used to not enroll people much onto that because we used to have, okay, we have a play school, let's drop our kids to the play school. But currently it is not the case. So we would have gone or people enrolling themselves for a 2+ years of kids into a online education is more actually currently people enrolling themselves because we have a lot of markets available. It can be online or offline, but education as an online has gone really high. So that is one top industry emerging currently along with the digital marketing. And digital marketing, if I say it goes along, I mean, we have campaigning running for all the other industries as well, from gaming to mining to quarry, oil, gas extraction, everything. So these were the few things what I had to say on this particular thing. You have anything you want me to talk? I can help you out here. Or else I'll move to the next slide. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pratyusha. Okay. So since you guys would have started looking into data science or would have got a M2 to learn from, if you ask me where to start on your journey on a data science per se, I would say Kaggle is a application or Kaggle is one particular website we have, which is being provided by Google, okay, where you get n number of data sets where you can work. They even provide a small community where they teach how to do things or how to start with your data science journey actually. So I would definitely ask you go ahead with the Kaggle, where it will help you to understand. You can take any data set provided. Especially they have started. There is a few data set like Titanic data set. Okay, how many people survived, how many didn't survive, to understand how it is done. So Kaggle is one particular thing where I would really recommend you guys, if you're interested to start your journey on data science, start with that. Whereas next is the Analytic Vidya. That is also a good platform. It is emerging actually. But Kaggle is being provided by Google. So you have the data, there is vast actually. There is one more open source, which is GitHub, where you can post your queries. I guess you guys know about GitHub. So it is an open community where you can post your queries, or you can post your ideas, or your work, what you have done. You can showcase it even in GitHub. It is an open source one. Okay, so these were the few things I just wanted to tell you from the journey, if you guys want to start along with that. Okay. Yeah, GitHub Analytics we do have. That's why I mentioned you. You can start with Kaggle. Kaggle is actually a free website. Data is huge. They have a few sessions for data science. When you start, the first thing what you need to learn is on Python or R. Python is actually emerging because it's open source, where you can understand with the things happening. Okay, so they have a community which teaches you Python also. There is a few courses available, which is a free course for you to start your journey. So you can start looking into that Python, SQL, SQL, and then move along with the data set which Kaggle provides. And along with that, there is once in a while there is Kaggle competitions happening where you can post things. All those things you can do. Python community, there are actually a lot of communities. One Python community which I look is Python PySerp actually, which I look into it, because there will be few things which is given. But more into that, even Kaggle Pro has its own Python community. So you can try looking into that. Sandeep, I'll actually give you the entire what to say, the URL for that. Just give me a few minutes. I'll just look into that and I'll just give you. Is that okay? So just to conclude with this, I just wanted to say the world is one big data problem. This is not my quotes actually, but this is one quote which actually gave me interest, or gave me a data answer to look into data science when I was on my maternity break. That's where I started looking into data. So this is that one quote, the world is one big data problem, which actually pulled me into the data science journey for me actually. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's what I had to mention you. Yes, guys, you have any questions you can ask now? I'll just stop sharing my screen. So this is from my end, guys.
Yeah, participants, if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and you can ask, or you can write in the chat box.